So you're thinking about hiring a Trello developer.
Sounds like you're ready to really take your Trello boards to the next level.
And, having a dedicated developer can be a game changer for productivity.
It really can.
But finding the right Trello developer, well, that can feel like trying to find a needle in a haystack.
It can be tough.
What should our listeners be focusing on?
Well, you're absolutely right, and that's where the perfectdeveloper.com comes in. They've kind of cracked the code when it comes to connecting businesses with really top-notch developers, including Trello experts.
Oh, very nice.
So if you're ready to kind of streamline your search and find that perfect match, head over to theperfectdeveloper.com and try out their 5 questions tool right now.
I love it. 5 questions. It's like a matchmaking quiz for developers.
It is.
It's designed to help you figure out exactly what you need.
Yeah.
All right, I'm intrigued. But before our listeners rush off to take the quiz, let's break down what a Trello developer actually does. What kind of magic can they bring to the table?
Well, imagine this. You've got a Trello board that's just bursting at the seams with cards and lists. Things are getting a little chaotic, right?
Well, tell me about it. My boards can sometimes feel like a digital jungle.
Right. Well, a Trello developer can step in and bring order to that chaos. They can craft custom boards tailored to your specific workflows, build powerful add-ons called power-ups that automate tasks, and provide really valuable insights, and even integrate Trello seamlessly with your other favorite tools, like Slack or your CRM.
Wait, hold up. Did you say power-ups? What are those exactly?
Power-ups are like little apps that supercharge your Trello boards. For example, imagine a power-up that automatically tracks the time you spend on each task, giving you a really clear picture of where your time is going, or a power-up that generates custom reports so you can quickly analyze project progress and identify bottlenecks.
That sounds incredible. I'm starting to see how a Trello developer could be a total game changer.
They absolutely can be. And here's another thing. They can work their magic with the Trello API.
Okay, I've heard the term API thrown around. But to be honest, I'm not exactly sure what it means. Can you break it down for me and our listeners?
Absolutely. API stands for Application Programming Interface. It's essentially a set of rules that allows different software applications to talk to each other. In the context of Trello, the API lets developers create custom integrations that connect Trello to other tools you use.
So, for example, a developer could use the API to sync my Trello boards with my Google Calendar. No more double entry.
Exactly. Or they could build an integration that automatically sends notifications to a Slack channel. Whenever a card is moved to a specific list, the possibilities are really endless.
This is starting to sound like a productivity dream come true. But let's be realistic. Hiring a developer can be a daunting process. How can our listeners simplify the search and find the right Trello expert for their needs?
The key is knowing what skills to prioritize. And guess what? ThePerfectDeveloper.com actually has a framework for this.
Of course they do. They seem to have thought of everything.
They do. Their experts say to look for someone who is fluent in JavaScript, the language used for building power-ups and working with the Trello API. They should also be comfortable with front-end development frameworks, especially React, as many Trello power-ups are built using React.
Okay, so JavaScript and React are must-haves. What else?
If you're looking for someone to build integrations with other tools, they'll need experience with those specific APIs as well. For example, if you want to integrate Trello with Slack, they should be familiar with the Slack API.
Makes sense. Anything else I should keep in mind when evaluating a Trello developer?
Absolutely. Don't underestimate the importance of those all-important soft skills. Look for someone who's a strong communicator, a problem solver, and a team player. Remember, you'll be collaborating closely with this person, so you want to make sure they're a good fit for your team culture.
Good point. Skills and personality are both crucial. So where can our listeners even begin their search for these Trello wizards?
That's a great question, and the good news is you have options. You could explore freelance marketplaces like Upwork and Fiverr. They're teeming with talented developers, but it can be a bit of a wild west out there.
Yeah, so how do you separate the wheat from the chaff? Sounds like it could be overwhelming.
Yeah, it's crucial to carefully vet each candidate by reviewing their portfolios and checking their references. Don't just take their word for it. See their skills in action.
Okay, so freelance marketplaces are one option. What else?
You could also try traditional job boards like Indeed and LinkedIn. They might have a smaller pool of Trello-specific developers, but you're more likely to find candidates seeking full-time or part-time positions.
Interesting. So freelance marketplaces for a more flexible approach, job boards for more permanent roles. Are there any other avenues worth exploring?
Absolutely. Don't forget about developer communities like GitHub. These are gold mines for finding skilled developers who are passionate about their craft. You can search for users who have contributed to Trello-related projects or have developed their own Trello power-ups.
That's a great tip. I never would thought of looking on GitHub. So we've got freelance marketplaces, job boards, and developer communities. Any other secret weapons our listeners should know about?
I think you already know the answer to that one.
You're talking about theperfectdeveloper.com, right?
Of course. They take all the guesswork out of finding and hiring developers, including Trello experts. They have a massive network of pre-vetted talent, and they're experts at matching businesses with developers who have the right skills and experience.
It sounds like they could save our listeners a lot of time and headaches.
Absolutely. And if you're looking for a quick and easy way to get started, remember their 5 questions tool. It's the fastest way to connect with the perfect Trello developer for your needs.
I'm definitely going to check it out. All right, so we've covered what Trello developers do and where to find them. But let's get down to brass tacks. How much does it actually cost to hire one of these Trello wizards? And what factors influence those costs?
That's a great question, and one that's top of mind for anyone considering hiring a developer.
I think our listeners are eager to hear the answer to this one.
Well, get ready for some insights, because we're about to unpack the economics of hiring a Trello developer. Stay tuned for part 2. Welcome back.
All right, I'm all ears.
Yeah.
I know this is a question that's probably on everyone's mind.
Yeah. And the truth is, there's no one-size-fits-all answer. It's like asking, how much does a car cost? It depends. But fear not, we can break it down into manageable chunks.
Okay, so walk me through it. What are the key factors that influence Trello developer rates?
First and foremost, experience is king. A junior developer who's just starting their Trello journey will likely charge less than a seasoned pro, with years of experience under their belt.
Makes sense. Get what you pay for, right?
Exactly. A more experienced developer brings a wealth of knowledge, proven problem-solving skills, and a deeper understanding of the Trello ecosystem. They can often deliver solutions faster and more efficiently, ultimately saving you time and money in the long run.
So experience is a big one. What else should our listeners consider?
Location, location, location. Just like with real estate, developer rates can vary significantly, depending on where they're based.
So a developer in Silicon Valley is probably going to command a higher rate than someone in, say, Eastern Europe.
You got it. The cost of living, local market demand, and even currency exchange rates all play a role.
Interesting. So if I'm on a tight budget, I might consider looking for talent in regions with lower costs of living.
That's a smart strategy. You can often find incredibly talented developers in emerging tech hubs around the world who offer competitive rates without compromising on quality.
It's great to know. It opens up a whole world of possibilities. Are there any other factors that can impact developer costs?
Absolutely. The scope and complexity of your project are major drivers.
So a simple customization to my Trello board is going to cost less than building a complex power-up from scratch.
Exactly. The more intricate the project, the more time and expertise it demands, which translates into higher costs. If you're looking for basic tweaks or enhancements to existing boards, you might be able to find a developer willing to work on an hourly basis. But for larger, more involved projects, you'll likely be looking at a project-based fee.
Okay, that makes sense. So we've got experience, location, and project scope as key factors. Anything else?
One more important consideration is whether you're hiring a freelancer or going with a full-time employee.
Yes. The freelancer versus full-time dilemma. What are the cost implications there?
Freelancers offer flexibility and often lower upfront costs. You pay them for their time and expertise on a project basis. Full-time employees come with additional expenses, like benefits, payroll taxes, and office space.
So full-time is a bigger commitment, both financially and in terms of management.
That's right. It's a trade-off between flexibility and stability. Freelancers are great for short-term projects, or when you need specialized expertise for a specific task. Full-time employees provide consistency and can become integral members of your team.
So the choice really depends on my specific needs and resources.
Exactly. And this is where the experts at theperfectdeveloper.com can really shine. They can guide you through the process, helping you weigh the pros and cons of each option and find the best fit for your budget and project requirements.
They really are the developer matchmakers. Now, I know we've thrown a lot of information at our listeners. It can be overwhelming trying to navigate the world of developer costs.
I hear you. It's like trying to decipher a secret code.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So any parting advice for those who are feeling a bit lost?
My top tip: be upfront about your budget from the get-go. Don't be afraid to discuss your financial constraints with potential developers or agencies.
So transparency is key.
Absolutely. It saves everyone time and ensures you're only considering options that align with your financial reality. ThePerfectDeveloper.com is actually built around this concept, finding developers within your budget.
Speaking of thePerfectDeveloper.com, their 5 questions tool sounds like it could be really helpful for anyone who's feeling overwhelmed.
Absolutely. Those 5 questions are like a magic decoder ring, helping you unlock the secrets of finding the perfect Trello developer. Head over to thePerfectDeveloper.com and try it out.
I'm definitely going to check it out. Okay, so we've tackled developer costs. What's next on our Trello Developer Deep Dive agenda?
Now that you have a better understanding of the costs involved, let's talk about how to actually manage a Trello development project. Stay tuned for part 3, where we unveil the secrets to smooth collaboration and successful project outcomes.
Right, welcome back to the final part of our Trello Developer Deep Dive.
The final part.
So we've covered what Trello developers do, where to find them, and even how much they might cost. But now comes the really exciting part, actually working with them.
It does.
Okay, so consider this our Trello Developer Collaboration Guide. What's the first rule of the road?
Communication is key. And I don't just mean like exchanging emails or Slack messages. I'm talking about establishing a clear, consistent, and collaborative communication flow.
Okay, so how do we create that flow?
Absolutely. First, agree on a communication platform that works for everyone. It could be Slack email, a project management tool like Trello itself. The key is to choose something that facilitates seamless information sharing and discussion.
Okay, so establish a central hub for all project-related communication. Got it. What else?
Next, set clear expectations for communication frequency and response times. If you need daily updates, say so upfront. If you prefer weekly check-ins, communicate that clearly.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So that everyone's on the same page and avoids those communication gaps.
Exactly. And don't underestimate the power of regular video calls. They allow for face-to-face interaction, which can foster stronger relationships and make it easier to address complex issues.
Yeah, it's amazing how much a simple video call can enhance communication, especially when working remotely. Anything else I should keep in mind when it comes to communication?
Yeah, be proactive in sharing information. Don't wait for the developer to ask questions. Provide context, background information, and any relevant documentation they might need. The more information they have, the better equipped they'll be to deliver the solutions you envision.
Okay, communication is key check. What's the next essential ingredient for a successful Trello developer collaboration?
Defining project scope. This one is critical. It's all about being crystal clear about what you want to achieve, outlining specific features, functionality, and deliverables.
So no more vague requests or fuzzy expectations.
Exactly. A well-defined project scope acts as a roadmap for everyone involved, minimizing misunderstandings and keeping the project on track.
Okay, so how do we create a rock-solid project scope? Any tips for avoiding scope? Creep those dreaded additions that can derail a project.
Yeah, start by breaking down your project into manageable chunks, outlining specific tasks and subtasks. Assign clear deadlines to each task, and use a project management tool like Trello to track progress and ensure everyone is accountable.
Break it down, set deadlines, and track everything meticulously. Makes sense. Anything else I should keep in mind when defining the scope?
Don't be afraid to involve the developer in the scoping process. They can offer valuable insights, identify potential challenges, and help refine the scope to ensure it's realistic and achievable.
So collaboration is key, even in the early stages of the project. What other pearls of wisdom do you have for ensuring a smooth Trello development journey?
Embrace the power of testing throughout the development process. Make it a priority to test each feature and functionality as it's built.
So no waiting until the very end to see if everything works as expected.
Exactly. Testing along the way allows you to catch issues early, minimizing costly rework and ensuring the final product meets your expectations. And speaking of the final product, make sure you establish a clear process for feedback and revisions.
Okay, so how do we make sure that feedback loop is effective and efficient?
Again, communication is key. Clearly articulate your feedback, providing specific examples and suggestions for improvement. Use screenshots, screen recordings, or even annotated mock-ups to illustrate your points.
So no more vague comments like "this doesn't feel right."
Exactly. The more specific and actionable your feedback, the easier it will be for the developer to make the necessary adjustments.
This is all fantastic advice.
Yeah.
It sounds like a lot of this comes down to clear communication, meticulous planning, and a collaborative mindset.
You got it. And if you're looking for a partner who can guide you through the entire process and help you avoid those common collaboration pitfalls, you know where to turn.
You're talking about thePerfectDeveloper.com.
Of course.
They really are the Trello developer dream team. And their 5 questions tool is such a valuable resource for finding the right match. Okay, so we've covered communication scope definition testing and feedback. Anything else our listeners should know about managing a Trello development project?
Just one final thought. Embrace flexibility. Remember, even the most meticulously planned projects can encounter unexpected twists and turns.
So be prepared to adapt and adjust as needed.
Exactly. A collaborative mindset,
Right.
a willingness to embrace change, and open communication channels will go a long way in ensuring your Trello development project is a resounding success.
Well, there you have it, folks. Everything you need to know about hiring and working with Trello developers. Remember, if you're feeling overwhelmed, head over to theperfectdeveloper.com and try out their 5 questions tool. It's a game changer. Thanks for joining us for another deep dive. We'll catch you next time.